I am a secretary in a very small office, and my desk sits right by the entrance to our suite. Sometimes my boss has already started to introduce me in the hallway on the way into the office, and sort of enters with, "And here's our secretary." And I'm caught off guard, flat-footed, as I wrench my attention from my work to the person who's already holding out a hand for me to shake. Is it impolite for a female to remain seated, to shake hands with a male or another female who is standing? I wonder because I've noticed that women usually remain seated at a dinner table at a restaurant while men rise to greet newcomers. I'd like to stand to shake hands, but sometimes I feel it's more impolite to make them wait with their hands outstretched while I'm trying to get my act together.
Good question. I think that in a business situation, it is appropriate for women to stand. I think that it is also appropriate for subordinates to stand. And I hate using that word, but everybody knows what it means. So the person of lower rank would stand. That's strict, that's old protocol from way back. So I think the error that's occurring here is, again, on the part of the boss.
Yes.
These bosses, they can make more mistakes. This is why I'm in business. They need to learn how to make introductions properly. Okay. And you don't put a person, whether it be a woman or a man, in a position of feeling awkward. And that is exactly what's happened. And he's done it, my gut tells me, very nonchalantly, as though it didn't matter. Well, it obviously mattered to this woman, or she wouldn't have gone to the trouble to write me the question. Right. So I think that it's really important for people to be aware of exactly what they are doing.
Yes.
And but to answer the question specifically about is it okay to sit down, no, it is not okay to sit down. Okay. You should rise. All right. So therefore, what I would do is, after this incident has come and gone, then what I think you need to do is explain to your boss that you need to have a little bit of warning, and you'd love to be able to stand up, but you just, you know. And the guy who, with his outstretched hand, is equally at fault because he doesn't know how to make a proper introduction. Okay. So I think it's really important for, you know, this is what businesses hinge on. I mean, these kinds of first impressions are very, very important. And if you can't shake hands properly or make an introduction, this is a prime example of exactly how off-putting it can be. So I think it's very important for people to be aware of it and to learn how to do it right. And the thing is that it is a habit. In order to do it right, it has to become a habit, that is.
Yes.
And habits don't become habits unless you practice them over and over and over again. Right. So if you don't teach your employees how to do it right and set an example of how to do it right, they're not going to learn, and it isn't going to appear that it's important to you as the boss. And you're going to alienate potential businof that way.
That's it. It does. It reflects on your company.
It absolutely does, and it reflects on your company's bottom line.
Yes.
So for all of the listeners who are bottom line oriented, this is a prime example of how these quiet, soft skills can be silent killers, because the secretary isn't going to say anything. The guy isn't going to, the guest who has come in with his outstretched hand, arriving to a disheveled secretary, isn't going to say anything.
No.
The boss obviously isn't even noticing, or if he does, he certainly isn't going to say anything. The whole thing is a big silent mess.
Okay.
And it's not the way to be professional. And so these simple skills need to be learned, and they need to be finely honed, because that's what separates the people who get the business from those who don't.
Okay. Well, Jay,